So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Hello, people. Hey, this is the happiest show on the internet, just in case you didn't know that. So I want to welcome you to today's episode of Bible News Radio, where we are going to be talking about one of the funnest things in the history of all mankind, in case you didn't know that. And you know what that is? It's God's creation, people. Hey, did you know that God created you? I bet you didn't. Or maybe you did. Because in Psalm 139, the Bible says that He fearfully and wonderfully made you. He knit you together inside your mom's womb. He fearfully and wonderfully made you. And it says here that His works are wonderful. Yes, they are. That would be you, people. Hello, everybody. Come in. By the way, just want to say hi. Mia, thanks for sharing it out. Virginia, welcome to the program. Hearts and stars, glad that you're there. And let's see if I see anybody else. Hopefully there's somebody else will come in. That's why we do a 3-minute lead-in, people, because I know you just got notified, didn't you? Hey, if you happen to be watching the archive of the show, you rock, dude or dudette. And I just want to say thank you, because I know that your time is valuable. And the very fact that you spend it with me and Bareface and our guests, hey, that means a lot, just so you know. So, don't forget to subscribe if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope. You can subscribe, you can follow us there. And or, don't forget, go over to BibleNewsRadio.com. So that's my website. And sign up for our email so I can harass you every single day in email. No, just kidding. I won't harass you. But I will send you some really cool info about tonight's show after it's archived, and a sneak peek at what the next day's show is going to be. Like, if you got today's email, then you already know that my guest tonight is Dr. Gordon Wilson. Yeah, he is. He's a doctor, people. He likes lizards and stuff. Yeah, he does. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for the hearts on Periscope. Appreciate it. Let's see here. All right. What else do I got to tell you? I don't know. I think that's it. All right, so let's get into it, because my guest is here with me for the first 30 minutes of the show. Technically, 25 minutes, because the clock is ticking. Hey, and there's Melanie. Thanks for coming in, number 1 super fan. Glad you're here. Melanie and Mia. I think, Mia, you're at number 2, right? Or are you number 3? I don't know. You guys are in the top 10. That's all that matters. It is. John, I think I don't know if you're in the back or not. But anyway, if you guys like movies and you like events at the movie theater like me, if you like the big IMAX spectacle, then I have a movie for you, people. That's right. It's coming out soon, just so you know. Which is why we have my guest on tonight. This is the funnest part of my show, reading the bio. Okay, so Dr. Gordon Wilson is a senior fellow. Yeah, he is. He told me how old he is, just so you know. He's way older than me. No, just kidding. Of natural history at New St. Andrews College, and is a regular contributor at Answers in Genesis, which, by the way, is one of my favorite ministries in the whole entire world. If you've never checked out answersingenesis.org, you should go there and check it out, because it's super cool. He has a lot of published research, field notes, and abstracts in Southeastern Naturalist. That was easy for me to say. And I'm going to say... All right, let's see, Gordon, if I can do it, okay? In the Herpetological review. Did I do it right? Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
I did. Okay, and then
Catesbeiana.
Thank you. People, just so you know, it's spelled Catesbeiana. And you already know that I fumble over my words all the time, just so you know. So I didn't even attempt it. Anyway, and the Virginia Journal of Science, and he's married to his wife, Meredith. They have 4 kids and a growing collection of grandchildren. That's right. When he's not teaching, you will find him tromping around the Pacific Northwest with his nieces and nephews looking for snakes and lizards. That's right. My type of guy. Manly man. Not afraid of lizards or snakes or dinosaurs. Anyway, he did a brand new movie. It's called RiotAndTheDance. And I actually watched it yesterday and today. I watched the whole thing. And it was super cool. And Gordon is here today to talk about it. So welcome you to the show. Thank you for the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm glad that you're here. You know what? I have to tell you that besides you, I had on a guy who was a prairie dog expert. And his last name was Slobodchikov. Yeah, so Wilson is way easier.
I'm glad that helped you out.
Yeah, it did. Except,
Yeah,
how do you...
tone.
Okay, so you're a herpetologicalist. Is that right?
Herpetologist, yeah.
Okay. Tell people what that means. I already know because you already told me, but they don't. I'm pretty sure of it.
Study of reptiles and amphibians.
Ah. Okay. So what's
The creepy crawly things, the things that need PR in God's great world. The cute fuzzy things, feathery things don't need a whole lot of help. People like them already, but the scaly things, the multiple-legged things, I mean as in more than 4. I also was, I had my master's in entomology, which is the study of insects. So it all goes together, creepy crawlies.
Well, I'll have you know that my husband, he will not kill a spider or a ladybug or anything like that. If it's in our house, he'll collect it in his hand and bring it outdoors.
Right.
You're the same way. You're the same way, aren't you?
Well, I'm not.
They're saying sound issues.
I don't have a problem with
Reverb.
I don't mind killing something that's a pest, but I certainly don't mind if it's just a vagrant that needs to be relocated.
I'm scared of spiders, so I would have a hard time killing it because I run the opposite direction. Oh no, there's a spider. And I have to tell you, my mom, when I was in high school, the whole lizard thing cracks me up. So I watched her whole movie, and there's a lot of lizards in that thing, right? And that's cool. They're cute. I used to catch them when I was like 10 years old. Because I lived in Southern California and in the mountains in the desert. Yeah. And there was all of these little lizards and stuff. My mom would jump up on top of a picnic table and get away from them because she was so scared of lizards.
And that's one of the reasons why one of the many reasons we need to do this film is to get Christians, particularly Christians, over those little phobias.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you let one of
minor goal.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and show the trailer for the film. That way we can show everybody how great it is, and then you can tell everybody more about it. How's that?
All right, that's great.
All right, let Gideon get this. Yes, okay. Just tell me when you're ready, Bareface.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now.
Okay, watch this trailer. You're gonna watch the trailer. It'll tell you. I wanted it to be longer. Oh, wait, there you are again.
There are some longer trailers. You can go to the Facebook, RiotAndTheDance Facebook page, and you can see several different trailers. And then there's the one trailer on the website, the RiotAndTheDance.com.
Yeah, everybody, I want you to go there after the interview, okay? Because then you go, oh my gosh, I saw the guy that made this. So, okay, so did you do the whole thing? Like this is like your brainchild, huh?
Well,
And-
no, I'm the narrator. I'm the host. So, if you want the backstory, my nephew, who's a best-selling author for Random House, and also my next door neighbor, almost 3 years ago came over and said, Uncle Gordon, would you be the narrator to a nature documentary from a Christian perspective? And I said, absolutely. I'm the sort of guy that likes to color inside the lines. You know, I've got my job teaching biology at a small liberal arts Christian college. And so thinking extravagantly like that, thinking outside the box is not something that is part of my constitution. I want to do a good job. So he's a writer, he's a creator, and an investor asked him if he would do a Christian nature documentary, because for decades there's just been evolutionary, secular documentaries, and none of them very few give God the glory for all of this incredible creation. There's a few that have happened through the years, but very few. And so this investor was just sick and tired of it and wanted a different perspective where God was glorified. And he was also just wanting his extended family, who was starting to imbibe evolution. They were believers, but you know, it's hard to fight against the whole cultural inundation of evolution. So they start to combine evolution with God, and so he just wanted something different. And so that's how my nephew, I was the go-to person, because he had the creative energy to do it, but I was the uncle, the wild and crazy uncle that took people out and in the wilds. I took him out when he was 10 and insect collecting, and I apparently had planted a seed. So he kind of credits me with that love of nature. I think he would have loved nature anyway, but I fostered it. And so that was why he came to me. Just I was a good fit for the host, the narrator. So I was kind of like Bilbo in his hobbit hole, and here was Gandalf came and snatched me out, and I was off on wild adventures around the world.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. Well, the footage is absolutely stunning. I mean,
Good.
it I watched it on my little MacBook, which is like 6 years old. I can't imagine it on the big screen. I might have to go.
It's going to be good on the big screen.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is everybody, what I want you to know too is that Gordon here, he explains, first of all, you're a great narrator. I enjoyed the whole thing. But, he walks you through the different reptiles, and there's some birds. In fact, you said the weaver bird is your favorite. Is that right? Was it the weaver?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I'd never heard of that before. I don't even know what it is or what it was. So
Yeah, it's just a bird that weaves a very amazing pendulous nest that just dangling off of one branch. And it does an amazing job weaving all of the long, stringy vegetation together to make this long sack that dangles from a branch.
I know. I never seen that. When I saw that in there, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And where are they located in the world? I forgot.
Central Asia, I'm not sure all of their locations, but we were in Sri Lanka, and they were there. They're in India. They're in Africa as well. So I'm not sure of all their locations, but they're an incredible bird.
Yeah, they're very cool. John, who is in Canada, he's watching right now. He wants to know, how come this is only one night, and is it going to be in Canada?
Well, right now it's not going to be outside the country, but after the theatrical event, we will have it on Blu-ray, DVD, hopefully Netflix, Amazon. So I'm not sure. I'm not in that side of the project as far as distribution. So we'll see if we can get it across the borders. I assume it can once it's on Netflix. I don't know if they're regional or national boundaries on Netflix, or if whatever is shown in the US goes overseas on Netflix. I'm not sure how it all works.
Yeah, I don't know, but we have a lot. We have some listeners in Canada. We got some in New Zealand, Australia, and England and Sweden that come in all the time. So a lot of people are going to know about it. So that would be something you guys should keep looking for.
We definitely want it to be watched by not just Americans. We want it widely distributed.
Yeah.
I know friends that want it in Europe. In England, Europe.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, so there's a lot of things in here that I liked. I liked the elephant seals. I loved when you talked about the elephants because I thought they were so cute. I love Dumbo personally, and and what else did you talk about? There is an epic battle between a bird and a lizard in here. I'm not going to tell you who wins, but I'm glad at who won.
Right, don't be a spoiler.
I'm not going to. Nope. But if you want to see who won. And then you talked about a crested serpent eagle, which I never even heard of that.
There's just amazing raptors overseas that just have different plumage patterns than the raptors that we're used to seeing. They're still in the same family, but that we have over here, but they've just got interesting hairdos and but feather dews.
Yeah. Well, I love birds. I have this bird feeder that's stuck to my window right now here in Tennessee. You can get them on Amazon. Just look for window bird feeder. You stick it to your window, put bird seed in there, and the birds show up. I get cardinals, I got doves, I got little chickadee types. Right. I got this big blackbird that came in bullying some other little bird earlier today. It's just so cool compared to California. Tennessee birds are awesome. But yeah. I had a couple of questions when I was watching. First of all, how long did it take you to get all that footage? Because you literally went all over the world for it. That was pretty clear.
Mostly U.S. We filmed in Idaho in the mountains nearby here, and then we went to the Oregon coast. We went to California, over to Montana near Yellowstone, and we went to the Sonoran Desert in southern Arizona, Tucson, and then south of Tucson, and filmed a lot of desert creatures. And then we did a 2-week, this was not necessarily in that order, and then we did a 2-week safari to Sri Lanka, which is our main, our one exotic destination. But in Sri Lanka, we were able to film different ecosystems. So we were in the dry zone and southeast part of Sri Lanka, and then we went over to the southwest part in Sinaraja rainforest, and then we went up into the cloud forests way up in the mountains in central Sri Lanka, and then back over to the dry zone. So the dry zone wasn't desert. It was still lots of trees, kind of savanna-like that you would see in Serengeti, but a little bit more woody growth and little less grassland, more trees, but still dry.
Oh, cool.
Where we had a high density of leopards that we were able to film some leopards.
They were so cool. I love big cats.
Yeah.
Not that big. I mean, in my house.
Our main goal was to just showcase God's creation, because all of the, like I said, the documentaries were for the decades have just been telling everybody that all of this happened over millions of years of time and chance, natural selection, that nature molds and sculpts these creatures. And I would say boldly that it is a type of blasphemy. It's inadvertent because they don't believe in a God that they're blaspheming, but it's at the same time, these are masterpieces of God and God's power, his creativity are manifested in all these creatures. And to say that these are something like an iPhone, we are just mesmerized with the technology. And the simplest, especially one of the newer models even an old model of an iPhone just blows us away with how is this little thing doing all of that? But an organism, even a simple organism creature is way more complicated. And yet we know that the iPhone was created by highly intelligent hardware and software people, engineers, and we know that it was intelligently designed. And yet we look at all of these creatures, thousands of different kinds, and way more complicated. And yet we attribute it all to time, chance, matter, and energy. And I think that is an awful, awful insult to our Lord. It would be like being a tour guide in an art museum, and the rule of the rule that was laid down to the tour guide is you may not mention the names or give any credit to any of the artists whose paintings are in the museum. Now that would be a very big insult to all of the artists, but they don't really care because they're dead.
Right.
But in our case, this living museum called nature, God is not dead. He hears all of our ramblings and all of our talk about the creation, and our desire is just to glorify God in the show. We're not trying to prove the existence of God because we simply are assuming God.
Right.
Like David Attenborough in Planet Earth, he assumes evolution. He doesn't try to prove it. He just says, this is the way it is. Evolution is a fact. That's what he says. And we are not trying to say, we think God did it. No, we know God did it. We're going to approach the whole topic as he that he did it.
Yeah. Well, this is what
cinematic celebration of creation.
Yeah, and this is why I loved it, because it was simple. It's not preachy at all. It's not like, I mean, there's scripture in it, but you're not like preaching and going, you must believe God made this.
Right.
But honestly, for me, when I was watching it, and there was so much, there was the hummingbirds in there were the bats. So were the bats from the Sri Lanka area? Because the other birds too, I've been to Australia once, and I saw a ton of bats in those birds. I forgot what they're called, but the macaw type birds or whatever.
Parrots.
Huh? Were they parrots?
Parrots?
No.
Well, macaws are a type of parrot.
Yeah. No,
So-
but it was the ones, I know you did it in Sri Lanka, because you don't see these birds in this side of the country. The
Oh,
world.
like the hornbills?
Yeah, them. Yeah. Anyway, so when you made such a good point when you were talking about the bats. I remember you said, do we appreciate these animals or whatever they're called? Are they marsupials? No, they're not.
No, they're bats. So
Bats.
Different.
Okay,
Really.
but do we appreciate them like God does? Because God created them for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that really hit me personally, because I thought, I'm not a big fan of lizards or insects in terms of but the Bible does say learn from the ant, and then you showed that really creepy 6-inch little bug.
that sun spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want to make just a clarification.
okay.
We can have favorite animals, and we can like furry things, and we can like baskets of kittens.
Yes.
We
Kittens
can
are
say, I
important.
don't like that, and I don't want to touch that. But we need to have a broader open mind to saying, okay, should we just be revolted, or should we keep an open mind and say, there's something about this creature that, even though it doesn't conform to my sense of aesthetics or whatever, God made it. It reveals an aspect of his creative character. God doesn't just create in one genre.
Right.
God creates in many, many genres, from small and delicate to bizarre to even some things would appear grotesque. Some are beautiful. Some are majestic. I don't know if I said that already, but lots of different genres. And we can just appreciate this broad array of makes and models that God made, and at least appreciate their function. Now, some of them might be pests, and we understand that we live in a fallen world, like venomous snakes. They are a threat.
Yeah.
And we need to realize that part of the subduing of the creation is to not eliminate these things, but to redeem. Just like people who are awful people, we don't say, well, we need to just annihilate awful. We need to redeem them. In the same way that we need to, the gospel, they're not, the animals aren't sinful, but because they're a result of the fall, the creation, all creation groans, as it says in Romans, and we want to do our part to redeem it as far as we are able until he comes again. And then when he blows the whistle and says, everybody out of the pool, then everything will be fixed completely.
Yeah. And that's what I look forward to. Yeah, I totally look forward to that. It is a absolutely stunning film, you guys. It's beautiful. Somebody in the chat room said kids are going to love this, when they go to it. And really, this is geared towards everybody, right? Not just kids it's everybody.
For all ages. As Neil Diamond said, pack up the babies and grab the old ladies. Everyone goes. Remember Brother Love's Travel and Salvation Show by Neil Diamond back in the 60s? Maybe you were too young, Stacey.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, it's a good line from him. It's for all ages. Neil Diamond singing a song about a tent meeting, traveling tent meetings in event. Just pack up everybody. It's for the whole family.
Yeah.
And there's many good films that are more heady. They're like apologetic, like they're teaching you things, and that's good. Those are necessary. But this is just more of a let's just do a nice cross section of God's creation and glory in it, revel in it, and hopefully people will see nature through new eyes as a result of this. It's very easy to go, oh, I want to see the exotic because I'm bored with all of the critters around my house because I see them all the time. And what we want people to just see that even the mundane is magnificent.
Yeah. Well, when I think about engineers and stuff, how they look at creatures, like the hummingbird and spiders and different things that do what they do, that's where they get all their brilliant ideas, from. What's it called?
It's an area of engineering called biomimetics.
Yeah.
They study living things to get new engineering ideas. So, and God didn't patent any of his ideas. And so these are copyright free. There's no patents on them. And people can just go into nature and copy away. And I think, if they do, I feel like the first person who copies some biological design needs to at least cite God in his acknowledgments.
Yeah, I agree. Well, because you look at this stuff and you're like when you highlighted, what was it, the centipede? Is that the one with 500 legs? I was like,
lots of legs. I can't remember what the number was.
I don't remember either, but that's the thing. I look at that and I think, this is what I think. I think everybody should take one animal or lizard or spider or bird or something like that and then study it for a whole year. And then, just do that, and then, George Washington Carver he studied the peanut, for like his,
Oh, yeah.
his whole life. And he discovered all, I mean, who would have thought you could find that much from a legume, you know?
Yeah, it's great.
But
I wouldn't, don't want to overdo it with the, they might get tired of it, but yeah, I just love studying all of the intricacies.
that's very cool.
Never run out. You never run out.
You can't, because there's so much. I mean,
There is.
it's like I was saying, just the birds coming to my bird feeder. There's like 5 or 6 different birds I've seen, and I'm like, you would never know that they're there because you don't see them all. Maybe you might see 1 or 2 flying away, but you would never know that they're all there. And it's just like what the Bible says: learn from the ant. You know,
The ant, sluggard.
the sluggard and the sloth and the, what was that thing? The leech. You even had leeches in this thing. And I have to tell you, that part creeped me out. I was like, really? Get that off you. Stop it. He's going to...
It was a revelation. We were looking for, and I thought, I bet you if we did a short leech segment, that'd be the kids' favorite part of the movie, because they'll go, oh, gross, and tell all their friends about it. And I knew it had a kind of a gross factor, but I thought that's how kids.
It was a little leech, though. It wasn't a big one.
It wasn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I've seen big ones, like that big, but this one was like
This was about that.
Was he? Oh.
Well,
He looked littler to me. Maybe it's my screen size. I don't know. Okay, well, our time is actually up. So,
right.
You want to go ahead and just tell people where they can go to the website, and then if they want to get in touch with you or whoever.
They go to RiotAndTheDance.com. You can see it right under my name there. RiotAndTheDance.com. And then you can click on a tab that says Find Your Theater. You can watch the trailer. You can click on the tab that says Find Your Theater, type in your zip code or the name of your city, and it'll pull up all the theaters nearest you. And hopefully you'll be near one. But, Moscow doesn't even have a showing because we're a tiny town. So here we are. We made the movie, and we have to go up to Coeur d'Alene, which is an hour and 40-minute drive. So there you go. We've got theaters here, but it's a Fathom event, and Fathom doesn't have Moscow, Idaho on the network. So if you're worried about driving a little bit, just think the narrator of the show has to drive over an hour and a half to see it.
It'll be worth it though. And you guys you have another one coming out next year, right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Lord willing, we'll have part 2. This one's called Earth, meaning that we're focused on terrestrial animals. Next year, we will do part 2, which is water.
Yeah, which means you get all the
water, or the marine or freshwater.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool. I love, I don't know how to scuba dive. Clearly, you do though, right?
I just got certified a year and a half ago.
There you go. Yeah.
Just so we could do this.
Yeah. See, there's a part of me that would be scared to do it, but then another part of me would be like, no, I gotta go down there and look, because it would be super cool to see all the fishes and stuff, and the schools of fish, and the creepy things and the cool things, and because for me, honestly, when I go to a zoo or I go to SeaWorld or someplace like that, I look at stuff like that and I'm like, how can anybody say that God doesn't exist? Because who made that, right? I mean, who would make such pretty things that you would literally have to go under the water to see it?
I know. And the simplest, like I said, the simplest thing is well beyond our knowledge of how it works. I mean, we just see the outward behavior and the outward shape of it. But when you look at its anatomy and its physiology and how it developed from a single cell, think of a bottlenose dolphin or a killer whale. It developed from a single cell in its mom's oviduct. Okay. And here it grows into this thing that can hold its breath for ridiculous amounts of time and swim underwater, and it's streamlined, and it's just fantastic. But we've been sold a bill of goods for the last 160 years, and it's time to be done with Darwinism. I hope that this causes a groundswell groundswell of people that just want to see more of God's creation and are less, just don't want to put up with this nonsense of Darwinian thinking.
Yes. And do you have like one more minute?
I can, yeah.
I just wanted you to share the note.
Oh, just quickly, the note.
Yeah. Just so people could see how you were kind of picked on. And this was one of the things that.
Right.
So that's the actual note right there.
There it is. Gordon, you'll never be able to call yourself a biologist if you continue to hold the views about evolution you demonstrated last week. You're a bright person. Start using your own mind. So that was just after my oral exams for my master's in entomology, and I wasn't offended by it at all, and he wasn't trying to insult me because I was one of his best students. I had him in 2 classes and got out of the final on both. And so he wasn't insulting me. He just said, if you believe that, I showed that I was a creationist in my orals, and he realized, hey, you're not just a different flavor of biologist, because the rules of secular biology is that you have to believe that naturalistic processes are sufficient to account for everything that we see in biological life. So when you're talking about God being essential, that is out of bounds, and you're not just wrong, you're not a biologist. For most secular biologists to not believe in neo-Darwinism is tantamount to saying that it's the same as a Christian saying, I don't believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. Well, that's nonsensical. You can't be a Christian and not believe in the deity of Jesus Christ. Well, for them, not believing in evolution is the same kind of thing. So I was a heretic, basically. And so that note is just kind of a reminder that I'm not in that camp. I like to be accepted. I'd like to be a part of the club, just like in C.S. Lewis, That Hideous Strength. Mark Studick felt that pull of wanting to be a part of the inner circle. And for a biologist, in order to be a part of that inner circle, you really have to be sold out to the efficacy of evolution to do everything. And I realized, okay, well, then I guess I'm not a biologist according to that definition. So it's a good reminder. It's, again, not an offense to me. It's just a reminder that whose team I'm on.
You should send that guy a ticket to the movie.
Well, yeah.
If they're alive, if they're not.
He's still around.
Oh.
He's retired.
He's still.
I don't know if it'll ever come around to him. But,
you never know.
yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Our guest tonight has been Dr. Gordon Wilson, and the movie we've been talking about is the Riot and the Dance. You thought I forgot, didn't you? Yeah, you did. No. It took me a minute because I have this perimenopausal brain right here. But yeah, it's in theaters March 19th, right?
March 19th.
All right, good. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going, and I hope you are too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I forgot to tell you, like, before our interview, all I got to do now is hang up because this is live, so I don't have a commercial. I have to keep going.
Okay. All right.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay. And I'll send you a link. I'll send Lori a link later.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, so everybody's still watching the show. Don't forget, we're still here. Don't forget, you guys, we got Ariel Ministries, which is our sponsor of the show. Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum. He is the Messianic Jewish founder of Ariel Ministries. And if you go to ariel.org, you can save 20% when you use the coupon code Bible News. Right there, you can see it on the screen, Bible News. And, oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Do we have our new website up yet?
No.
No? Okay. Well, then the other thing I want to tell you is that if you go to my Twitter account, at Bible News Radio over on Twitter, there's a tweet for this month's teaching on demonology. Yeah, it is. It's a 42-page PDF. You can download it. You don't need to put in your email or anything. We've had almost 100 people download it already in the last day, and it's definitely worth it. I mean, it's free. You don't even have to put in your email. So go to Bible News Radio, or it's on Twitter. That's Twitter. If you go over to Facebook, I also have it pinned on last night's show. I'll also put it up under today's show, too, so you guys can get that if you want it. And then what about model stuff? Do you have it?
Do I have it where?
Graphics or anything?
No.
Okay. Then never mind about the other thing I was going to tell you. So did you want to hang up or?
No, I don't.
No, I can't hear him.
I know.
Oh. What?
Show must go on.
Oh, I just wasn't sure. Okay. Ooh, somebody's calling me a bad name. Anyway, so that's that. And then the other thing I want to tell you is I want to thank all of our pillars of the community. You people that donate to us because we need it. We appreciate it a lot. We call you our pillars of the community. If you donate $25 or more a month, it helps me feed Grover and Tug and Gideon, my cat. Yeah, he needs to eat too. Even though he's a cat, cats still need to eat. Anyway, this helps us to evangelize the world with the gospel. And as you know, we do it no fluff, no stuff, but we do it with fun, just so you know. And if you want to become a pillar, just go to BibleNewsRadio.com/give, and you can join the community of our secret Facebook community with all you pillars are in there. And don't forget, if you're in another country like Canada or New Zealand or Australia, you can still donate if you want. We accept your money, just so you know. And then what else was I going to tell you? Okay, so there's the pillars. There's that. I know there's something else I'm forgetting. No? Yes? The Unstuck Club. That's what it is. All right, so the Unstuck Club is a club where I help you to become unstuck. That's right, people. You know you're stuck. Just admit it. And here's the thing. Because you know you're stuck, that's why you're actually in the Unstuck Club. And yes, of course, I feed Randall, but technically he feeds me more. So don't forget, you can go to bit.ly/Unstuck Club. There you go. You can join that. This is the free version. We're going to be launching a mastermind where those of you who are stuck, where you actually are stuck, right, and you need my help, because you know you do, then you can join the mastermind. I'll have info on that in a little while. Don't worry, though. You'll want to join it because, it's super important to move you forward. And I can tell you, my years as a marriage and family therapist will help you people get unstuck, just so you know. All right. Tomorrow on the show, we have a lovely guest coming on. Let me tell you about him right now. Hold on. Roma Downey, actually. This is actually a question. Pray for me tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be interviewing Roma Downey about her brand new book having to do with butterflies. Except really it has nothing to do with butterflies. It has everything to do with how seeing hope and all that. And all that. So we're going to be interviewing her. And then tomorrow night, Rhonda Stopp is going to be our guest. And we're going to talk about this book here called Real Life Romance. Inspiring stories to help you believe in true love. So if you are somebody who feels like God's forgotten you, if you want to get married, then you know what? This show is going to minister to you because Rhonda's going to share some real life stories about how God redeemed that. And I know that there's some of you in our audience who really, have had some struggles in that area. And so if you're single, don't be scared. This subtitle up here says, this book will rekindle your hope That's what Renee Swope says. She's the best-selling author of A Confident Heart. As you can see, I'm squinting my eyes trying to read it because I'm at that age. But we're going to talk to Rhonda tomorrow night. So I hope if you're around, you can join us for that. And then Thursday, we're going to be talking to Sandra Glahn about her book, Vindicating the Vixens, which I've also been reading. And you guys should check this out for sure. This one is very heady in a way. It's more, what's the word I want to say? It's more collegiate. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of big words in it. Just so you know. Okay. Anyway, so those are some of our guests coming up. And I hope you guys, take the time to tune in, share the show out, join our email list. I think so. When are we going to launch our website?
Good question. Perhaps tomorrow. Oh, don't you love the hair going on here? All right. Tomorrow, probably sometime tomorrow. I suspect, and I expect as well. I both suspect it and expect it.
Gotcha. Okay, so how much time do we have left on the clock?
If we're going to do our 55-minute show, I guess we've got about, counting for the 1-minute outro, then we've got roughly 6 minutes.
Gotcha.
5 to 6 minutes.
All right, so do any of you in the chat room have any questions for us for the next 5 minutes or so? Did you enjoy the interview with Dr. Gordon? Expect the unexpected. That's a question. That doesn't make any sense in context.
Sounds more like a question than sounds more like a statement than a question.
Yeah, it does. Just so you know, it really does. All right.
Did anyone ever tell you have big hair?
Hello, Kay. Yeah, all the time. I love my hair.
I do too.
You know what my hair represents? I used to didn't like my hair, but now I love it. You know why? Because God gave me it. And it's turning white. It looks so super cool. When I look at the pictures of my hair, it's totally cool. Yeah, it is. Actually, though, in all seriousness, I saw this movie, and it's basically a documentary, but it's not dry it's not dry. It's not boring at all. The creatures that he shows, and I don't even know how many he showed. There's a lot. There's some, there was one fight scene, maybe two. I'm not going to ruin it though. But there's hummingbirds, there's other types of birds, there's lots of bats, there's lots of lizards and snakes, and cobras, and other creepy things. And kids will definitely love it for sure. I can see that. The leech part did kind of creep me out. It's like, oh, there's a leech, But you know what really, the overarching theme of the movie, which for me, which I just told Gordon, was that it really gave me a renewed love for the Lord as my creator. Not just as me as creator, because if you look at yourself and you look at other people, God made that person, right? He made your animals, if you have animals, he put such care into creating everything that we see around us. And we're so arrogant in our superior Western minds often to think, oh my gosh, we're so smart. We're smarter than God is. But when you look at the human eye or the body, just the human body, I don't know how any doctor in their right mind literally that can't believe in God. It just doesn't make sense. And then when you take it down to the microscopic levels, and you like in there, he shows different spiders. And how many of you have ever seen a spider web? Right? We all have. In fact, when I moved here to Tennessee, in my backyard, there was a spider web that was like as big as like 3 feet wide in diameter, and all this. That this spider or spiders, I think it was just one spider, made this thing. And I remember taking a picture of it because I was like, man, this is so intricate. Why do they do that? To
catch their prey.
Yeah, and then like I said, it was the centipede. And then all this other stuff. And I was thinking, there's these creatures all have a purpose, right? Even if we don't understand what they are, they have a purpose in God's ecology geology, and he mentions there's bees in there. I mean, if bees were dead, we'd be
Big
toast.
trouble.
We'd be toast, right? I mean, if because bees they pollinate, and
Yeah, we'd have to have come up with some other method of pollination.
yeah,
Or pollination, I guess.
yeah. But anyway, you look at all this stuff, and it's crazy. And then a lot of the reptiles, like there's geckos and different types of reptiles. They're so beautiful. You just look at the fins on them and how they look, and it's just so like beautiful that you look at it and you're like, I don't get it. I don't understand, how somebody can just believe this just came into being. And he touches a lot of different frogs too. There's toads and frogs and
As mentioned during the interview, even at the cellular level, a single-celled organism. I mean, I didn't mention any, but like a protozoa or something like that, or a bacterium, something like that, and just look at how complex that is, all the things that go on inside that cell. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, So for me, I know that this doesn't appear to be a very highly rated episode for whatever reason. Maybe it's Periscope, I don't know. But to me, this is the type of show where I look at what's being presented, and I think this is an awesome tool. If you can't see it in the theater, definitely get the DVD afterwards, or rent it. You can watch it online. I think it's they sent me a screener through Christian Cinema, so I know it's on christiancinema.com. You can go there probably and watch it after it's released publicly. But this type of stuff builds
watched on the biggest screen possible.
Yeah, it builds my faith personally, because I'm just like, intelligent design is just, that's even too low of a word in my mind. It's not intelligent design, it's supernatural design. It's supernatural. To quote Sid Roth's show. And plus, when you look at botany and you look at the trees and all the foliage and the dirt and the water, and you look at all that stuff, it is amazing that God had to create it all for all this stuff to function. The air that we breathe, the oxygen, the lungs and the eyeballs and the ears, all this various stuff that every insect, creature, or lizard or whatever has, God had to make it fit. And he did. And it's super cool. So I hope tonight's show, I hope it has whet your appetite for creepy crawly things. But even more so, just God's wonder. It's just so cool. So thank you guys for tuning in, that you did tuning in live. If you watched the archive, thanks for watching it. And we'll be back tomorrow night. So remember, be bold, stand up and go with God, you guys, because he loves you. And if you don't believe it, just go look outdoors. Like he said, it's a living museum. Just go and enjoy it.